to hear us. And we'll adjust that. Just pretend it's not there. All right.
With
Oops.
all the controls, it looks like fancy.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. It looks like there's a handful of you on here right now. Hopefully, more of you will join us as we get going here. Can somebody let me know? Can you hear me fine? If somebody can just say it in the comments, that would be wonderful just to let me know. I'll leave it on the screen so I can see. We'll get started in just a second. I have company behind me. Right. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I am going to hand the floor over, the proverbial floor here. I'm going to hand it over to our librarian. Please, if you have questions, put them in the chat. Hi, Whitney. Put them in the chat and I will help her and let her know that they are there. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm glad you can hear fine. I will give them to you. I'll come over here.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle Capellian. I'm one of the librarians here. We also have Jackie over here with us. Jackie is also one of our librarians, and we're kind of tag teaming today. Sorry, I'm getting my bearings of which side I'm on. And all we're going to talk about today is research. I know that's part of your assignment right now, so we want to show you the library resources, how to access them. Again, if you have any questions throughout the stream, just chat them in. Your professor's on chat as well. She'll be answering as we go. So I just am going to demo how to access materials. We'll talk about a couple other things. But the first thing that I do want to talk to you about is, and let me start my slideshow, is going to be how to differentiate between, oh, sorry, my little intro. How to differentiate between popular and academic sources. So what your professor is asking you for is to find academic or scholarly or peer-reviewed sources. And we want to really help you differentiate between the two before you even start the research process. So just briefly, I just want to show you two types of magazines I have here. Well, magazine and journal. I have Psychology Today, which is one that we use pretty often with psych students, and also the Journal of Sex Research. Now, Psychology Today is going to be what we consider a popular magazine. If I can quickly show you the type of content that you're going to see in there. I apologize, this is probably not the best article because it has that black background, but what you'll see in Psych Today, it's a great magazine because it is psych-based articles. And a lot of times they are written by people who have a psych background. But the thing is, it's a very casual publication. A lot of the topics are going to be like popular, sort of like kind of pop culture-y topics that you'll find just through general internet searches. This is an example of an article in Psych Today. And it is lengthy. There's a pretty good length to it. There's a lot of pictures inserted to make things interesting. But there's not really going to be a ton of research. They may sort of reference research once in a while, but one of the hallmarks that you'll notice is at the end of each of these articles, there's not going to be any work cited. That's just, the article's just going to end, that's it. That is really one of the biggest differences between a scholarly article and a popular article. So this would be considered popular. Yes, it is long, it has a lot of information, it's very helpful, but it's going to be considered popular. If you want an academic article, this is from the Journal of Sex Research. A couple things that I'm going to notice right off the bat are they're going to have the authors' names very prominently posted, and you'll notice many of these people are either employed at like the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or they may be working at a university. You can always just Google the names to be sure, but whenever I see authors' names in this type of formatting, that is a good sign to me that it's going to be some type of research article. The other thing that you'll notice is, again, at the very end of this article, there is going to be a works cited or reference section. This is a research article, so they've done a lot of research. They're citing all their sources and getting back to those. The other item that you want to look at is the content. I mean, we looked at the popular magazine from Psych Today, and it had, you know, just a short kind of, I would say, article. But in this, you're going to see this is a research study. So they are going to present to you what the problem is in the beginning. They'll give an introduction. They're going to explain their process or method, and then they're going to have a bunch of tables and charts in here explaining the research process, how it was done, what the results were. I find that the most interesting thing in these academic articles for me is going to be their conclusion at the end, because that will tell you what their findings proved or maybe disproved. So I'm going to get there. They'll have the discussion at the very end here, and that's what I would encourage you to look at in academic sources. So that's just really a quick overview on the difference between academic or scholarly articles versus popular. So in these Psych Today versus Journal of Sex Research, does anybody have any questions about that at all?
I'll give them just a moment.
Okay. Good.
Nothing yet. So if they do, I'll let
Okay,
you know.
yeah, just keep
Somebody
chatting.
said no.
Okay. All right.
Good to go.
So that would be sort of what you're looking for, right? Now, when it comes to searching online, there are going to be several places you can look. And the first place we are going to look is the ever popular Wikipedia. Now, most of you have been told that you cannot use Wikipedia in research. Especially for a research methods class, we would not recommend Wikipedia. But there are things that could be helpful to you. So one of the things that I would say when you're looking at Wikipedia, you can always look up pop culture topics. So if we're looking up like ghosting, and I'm thinking of that in a relationship setting, ghosting in relationships, I'm going to click on that. There's a short article. One of the things about more recent pop culture in Wikipedia is you may not get something that's really long, but there may be things that might be helpful in here. But what I would say is whenever you're looking at a Wikipedia article, what I would do is go straight to the references section, see if there's anything helpful. Now, I can see, because this is a modern topic, a lot of my references are coming from Cosmopolitan Magazine, The Atlantic, Boston Globe. Maybe not your best sources, because again, these are going to be popular sources that they're citing from. But if you go into Wikipedia and then look at something a little bit, I guess, more elevated, so if we look at coping in psychology, ghosting is probably not a good example of coping. But if I were to look up coping here, now you're going to see a really long article. And this is what always surprises me about Wikipedia, is there are people, there are actual researchers sometimes who are putting a lot of time into building these articles. And again, here at the bottom in the references section, you're going to see a much more robust reference section, as well as some further reading and external links. Again, whenever you're playing on, or I'm sorry, not playing, when you're searching on Google, you are always going to have to play the verifying game. So you're going to have to find out yourself whether this source is reliable or not by using those academic hallmarks that we talked about, and I'll show you, we have a little chart that you can use for that as well. That can be something that can help you make the decision, but it really kind of puts a lot of pressure on you to have to decide whether or not something is useful. This would be an example, I would say, in a references section of Wikipedia, something you maybe could use. This would be an annual review, and in here they're going to have an abstract introduction, and again, lengthy discussion as well as PDF format, and then they're going to have all of the references down at the bottom. I apologize for scrolling so quickly, but this is like super long. But that could be something that you could use, but again, with Wikipedia, you really have to sort of figure out whether or not it is useful. And we can use databases to not have to do that. Google Scholar is something else that your professor would like you to see. Many of you may have used this before.
What are some reasons that you might want to use Wikipedia? Could you see, maybe you could share that with them? What are some advantages maybe of using it?
Yeah, I would say advantages of Wikipedia. Again, you're going to get the pulse of humanity on Wikipedia, right? Because anybody can edit Wikipedia. So you can see kind of what the thought process is. A lot of times they will include the controversies around your topic. So they'll discuss that at length in the article. That could be a way to sort of just get familiar with it. So I always call Wikipedia like pre-research. This is for you to get an idea of what it is, how it's outlined, and you can also see discussion points in even just the outline of Wikipedia on how to discuss your topic. I would really discourage you from referencing it, like citing it, but in order to get sort of just like a framework of what you want to discuss, I think Wikipedia could be helpful. If we want to actually get things that we can use, that's when we're going to Google Scholar, and also we're going to talk about the PsycHARTICLES database. Now, the nice thing about Google Scholar is it's searching, again, it's like Googling, but they're trying to make it an elevated form of Googling. So when you search in Google Scholar, they're giving you back all articles that are considered to be academic sources. It's not perfect, so it's not always going to be correct, but generally you're going to see mostly academic sources coming up in Google Scholar. And because we're searching so much, I can get, again, either specific, I can go modern, so I can talk about ghosting, and I want to say ghosting in relationships here. And then I will see articles coming from academic sources. The way that I'm going to know is when you click on any of these articles, sometimes it will be listed down here at the bottom, like this is coming from a journal called Social Development. But then I also have the art bulletins. So this is taking articles from all academic publications. So that art bulletin, that's for art history majors. It's not really something that you would use. So again, you're going to have to still be sort of like sifting through here. There's also a lot of medical based articles, and with psych there is a lot of like overlay in that, but if you have a choice between a medical source and a psych-based source, you probably would want to look at the psych-based articles versus medical first, like prioritize that. The other thing that will come up in here sometimes is I will click on these, let's see if there's an example. I'll click on the title. This may give me the full, oh, okay. A lot of times in Google Scholar, I'm going to get this where I have this locked access option. Sometimes it will let me download, and this one might actually let me do that, but Google Scholar will still link you to articles that will say you can read this if you pay us $29.95, which you don't want to be doing. I will talk briefly about how to set your computer up in Google Scholar so you can see if you have access through the Moore Park College Library. We'll do that at the very end, but that is one little kind of like, I guess you would call it an app that you add onto your Google Scholar search, and it will link you directly into the Moore Park College Library holdings. So whatever you run in Google Scholar, if it says get it at MC Library, that will tell you that it also is available at MC Library. We definitely don't have everything, but we have some of this that you would not be able to access regularly just through general Google Scholar. Any questions about Google Scholar or Wikipedia searching?
Give a minute, they get hit by an ad break, so they might be about 30 seconds behind you. Yeah, there are ad breaks. Right.
Well, I'll pull up my little slideshow again then.
Anyone have any questions, anything so far before letting you catch up? We might be a few seconds off from the annoying little ad break. Right, but they're getting caught up. Nothing
Okay.
so far.
Okay. So we talked about searching online, right? And searching online is great, especially if you're doing a modern topic. Sometimes that will be your best resource to find information. If we go into the databases, though, one of the best things that you can do in the databases is that you are going to search only within psych materials. So psych journals, magazines, publications. So you don't have to figure out, is this something that I could actually use? Does this apply? When you're searching in PsycHARTICLES, you don't have to worry about that question. So how do you get in there? From the Moore Park College website, you just want to hover over the quick links menu over here, and then you're going to click on the library link, and there will be a little link down here for databases by subject. And you just want to click down there to get all of the databases back. These are going to be listed by subject. So we want to go all the way down to where? In the social sciences section. Is it social sciences?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you're going to look for EBSCO Psych articles. You'll also notice there's a Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection. You could look in either, but the preferred database for this course is PsycARTICLES. So to open up the database, you just want to click on the link. And again, the difference between searching in here versus searching in Google is now we're just looking at all psych-based publications. The one thing is, because it is only psych publications, you do kind of have to be a bit more general with your search. So I can't type in ghosting here. In fact, if I were to do that, they have ghosting in relationships and dating. It's nothing is coming up. I don't even think, if I got more specific, it wouldn't work. So I'm going to have to go to my advanced search instead. And what you want to do in here is build your search. So if you missed that, I just want to go back and highlight that one more time. Underneath the search box, there's going to be the basic search, advanced search, and search history. So we want to click on that advanced search, and then you're going to type in, we're gonna bring it out, make it a little bit more general. So we'll talk about relationships generally. And I'm just going to say phone. So relationships and phone. We don't want to get any more specific than that. And then I can run my search. And now we'll see smartphones and loneliness in love. Should it stay or should it go? Smartphones and relational health. These are all interesting. I don't know. I'm interested in reading what they're about. And you'll also see that they'll have little icons next to each of the articles telling you what type of material you're getting back. In this case, it's coming from an academic journal. Generally, it will be a lot of academic journals coming up in the search. You may find that there will be some, they'll call it periodicals, so that will be from popular sources. But once you get your results back, if you find something interesting, you can just click on the title. That will take you to the cover sheet for the article. In here, you're going to have everything that you need to cite, as well as an abstract or short summary that will explain what the article is about. You'll also have a link to Google Drive. You can save this article to your Google Drive account. You can email it, and they'll just ask you to put in an email here, and then you can send it as a PDF by checking that box. Or you can also click on the citation tool, and that will give you the APA, it's APA, right?
Mm-hmm.
APA formatting. You do always want to compare it to a style guide. It's not always 100% accurate. And then if you actually want to read the article, there's the PDF full text on the left-hand column right here. You can just click on that, and then you'll see the article as it was published in full. Sometimes there'll be one of these little cover sheets on the top, but then you'll see something that looks very similar to what we saw in the Journal of Sex Research. It's going to, again, have the author's name right there, affiliated with University of Arizona. There'll be a discussion of the study, some measurements, discussion of technique, and then the results again, which is what we are most interested in, and the discussion at the end. And a lot of references here. So those are, again, hallmarks that we know we're using an academic source. You also know that because, again, you have that little academic journal key right here, or little icon, excuse me. The other thing that you may want to do when you're searching in here is limit on the left. I'm pointing, you know, I gotta get out of that. So on the left-hand column, you'll have the option to limit to full text. Most of these I know I can see are already in full text, but just by clicking on that, you're making sure everything you get back you can read, the entire article. The other thing that you can do is use these little date sliders. Like with smartphones and relationships, I probably only want to look at the last probably 5 years. So I can just drag that over to 2014 and then let go. That cuts my article results in half, but at least I know they're talking about maybe smartphones instead of our old black and white text phones, you know, from back in the day. So this is kind of just general searching in PsycARTICLES. Again, what I would recommend is that you do more general searches, broader topics. And if you ever need help finding information in here, that's really what librarians are here for, is we're here to help you search in the databases, research, find materials, really find materials everywhere, but I think one of the things that we help with the most is really kind of just sleuthing databases, figuring out how to sort of get the results that you need. We may recommend you go into a different database or use different search terms. So that's that's one thing that I think you could definitely come to us when you need assistance. Also, if you find articles that you like that are not available in full text, send those to us and we can try and hunt them down in other places. And that could just be from a general Google Scholar search, or if you're looking in databases and it's not letting you access full text.
Will you show them how to, so in their first assignment, they have to give me the link or like download and like give me the article so that I can look at it?
Okay.
You show them one more time
Yeah, sure.
how to include the articles. Like if they wanted to save it, when they open that PDF file, they could save it, or how they could save it that way.
So to open that PDF, again, on the left-hand side, you have that PDF full text link. And then you can just use the little download icon up here on the top right hand to download the article. That's going to save it into your computer. So I always say just save it to the desktop until you figure out where you want it. You can name it Phones and Relationships. And then when that comes up on your desktop, then just go ahead and attach it in an email to your professor or upload it to Canvas,
Yep,
right?
uploading as a submission.
Upload it to Canvas. So that would be one thing that you can also, again, save to your Google Drive if you want. It would be very similar. But if you're attaching in Canvas, I guess downloading would save you the time of then having to download from Google Drive and putting it up. And your professors probably told you this, especially for research methods. Whatever you're in your trail of research, whatever you find, save, save, save. Especially with the Google Drive option, they just drop them into your folder. Even if it's something you think you may use, you're not sure, I would just save it, because then you don't have to go through the hassle of searching again and trying to find it again. I would just save as you go. Okay. Any questions about searching within EBSCO? PsycARTICLES.
See, give them a sec to get caught up. We'll
Okay.
see. Any questions? I'm good. Would you show them one more time from the Moorpark College homepage how to get to where you are right here?
Oh, okay, sure. So from the Moorpark College page, you'll want to again go to Quick Links, click on the library link, and then there's going to be the databases by subject search right under here. And then from there, in your subject list, you do want to go all the way down to social sciences. And then you'll see that EBSCO PsycARTICLES down at the bottom. And then just click on that and that will open up the database. At the very end of this too, and I will provide a link for your professor to post, and that will have everything that we went over today. So one thing too I want to show you, that's searching in just one database, right? So if we're just searching in one specific database, and that is a psych-specific database, that's really kind of your best bet, because then you know everything coming back is from a psych-based publication. But some of you may have topics that sort of may be published a lot in psych, but also in medical journals. There may be some gap that is restricting you from finding a lot in a psych-based database because it may be housed somewhere else. If that is the case, then you can always search just generally in we're calling this our one search box now. This is actually something brand new that we just started this semester, but it's pretty powerful. Again, I would try PsycARTICLES first, but if you're having some trouble finding things, this could be a second resort. And I would just search for cell phone use and dating relationships. And when I search in here, now this is searching all of the databases, which now it makes it a little bit more like Google, which is beautiful and problematic at the same time. I can see that coming back to me now, I have articles, I have books coming back. This is a mix of peer-reviewed articles. There's our Journal of Sex Research right there. It's going to be a mix of peer-reviewed stuff. It's going to be newspaper articles. It's going to be open access resources on the web. So again, you're still having to play the game of like verifying these things and making sure it's reliable. This is why we say go PsycARTICLES first. But there's also things that you may find in here that you wouldn't find through just a PsycARTICLES search. But the main thing I would want you to do is definitely use the limiters on the left-hand side. First thing that you could do is for resource type, we could say we want articles. And you could also click under availability that you would like a peer-reviewed journal. Peer-reviewed, that is another form of academic source. Peer-reviewed journals, in order to submit to that, you have to have you submit it to a review panel of your peers, who will review your article, edit it, send it back to you, and have you probably make some changes, and then it's submitted again, maybe reviewed again. So that is one way that an academic source would be more elevated. We know that now it's been reviewed multiple times by people who are experts in the field. So you can click on peer-reviewed journals and articles here, and this just apply the filters. We had 2,000 results, and now that's going to whittle it down in half, basically. And now we'll just be getting back articles, and you won't be having books come up. You can click on the title here. It's an extra step also when you use this search. So they are going to have the landing page here, and then there's going to be a little jump page, is what I call it, that's going to jump you into the database that has that article. So again, we'll see that EBSCO hosts Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection. You could really click on any of these and they will take you to the article. But I'm going to click specifically on that one, and it will take me to the landing page for that article now, and then we're back to opening the PDF or saving it to Google Drive, emailing, or citing. So a couple extra steps, but the nice thing is now you have the power of searching all of the databases versus just one. Depending on your topic, that might serve you better. But again, always try first in PsycHARTICLES before you branch out into the super large search. The other thing too in here is that you can limit the creation date to, the last, again, we can go 5 years, and then just click on refine. There's a lot of playing that you can do in these filters on the left-hand side that can be a lot of help. Sometimes they even will let you limit, and I'm hoping it will be here in the collection. They only pick a few, that's what's hard. So sometimes they'll have PsycHARTICLES here, and you could just limit to PsycHARTICLES. But in this case, it looks like it's not mentioned. So just another way of searching for you to be aware. This is really kind of the primary search that you'll see on the regular library homepage, which is why I want you to be familiar with it. But you can also, again, they have the link for the databases by subject right up here as well to get you into the list so that you can go straight to PsycHARTICLES down here at the bottom. Oh, here it is. Okay, questions? Any questions about that?
Let's see if they have any last questions.
And if I can just quickly show you, on the main library homepage, we have a phone number and an email address. Since I know you're all remote, you can contact us remotely with any questions that you have. If a database is not working correctly for you, or again, if you find an article that you would like to access, but it's not in full text in whichever source you're using, you can send us that information and we can help link you to either something that would be similar, or hopefully we could find the full text somewhere. Also on this homepage, there's going to be a link for research guides. And this is the link that I'm going to send to your professor, so you really don't have to go straight through here. We can just give you the hyperlink. But under psychology, there's going to be a psychology, just a basic psychology guide. And in this guide, we will have a selected resources tab that's going to, oh no, I'm sorry, articles tab. The articles tab will have all of the recommended databases, specifically PsycHARTICLES and Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection. If you would prefer, instead of going through the databases by subject list, you can always just use this guide and link straight to this. They'll just ask you to log into your VCCD account to get into the database. If you're using this on campus, you can always just jump straight into the database using the guide. There is also the Google Scholar tab that is a review of searching within Google Scholar, and there'll be directions on how to add that Moorpark College Library search function to your Google Scholar account. All you have to do is adjust the settings and then find Moorpark College in the library access links, and then that will add that little get it at Moorpark College Library link to your Google Scholar results. The last thing that I want you to see is there is a citation help tab, and that will just have the APA guide and then a link to the Purdue OWL Writing Lab, which is what we would recommend you look at for any APA citations. And then there is, again, that contact information. So everything that we went over today will be listed here on this guide, and that will be linked and in your Canvas for you to look at after this session. Okay?
That's wonderful. I can see any last questions for anyone before we log off, before we end this here? We still have 14 people on there.
Sweet.
We want to switch for 1 second and
Okay,
say goodbye to them, and then. Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you for all of you who were there. It was mainly me in the chat, but that's okay. Hopefully, you will watch this later. So I'll have the whole thing on Twitch later today. You can link on it and watch it. I'll also post the link to the video on our Canvas page so you can get there easier. And then once I get the links from our librarians, I will post that as well. So I'm going to end the video, so I'll say goodbye here. But if you have any questions, I'll hang out just for a moment in case you're a little behind on the scroll here. But if you have any questions, I'll hang out. But I'm going to shut off the audio and the video, and I'll just be here if you have anything. And I will do another Twitch probably later this week for general stuff related to the class. So thank you all. Talk to you online. All right, I'm going to go ahead and log off, but thank you all so much again for joining us. If you missed any of this, you can obviously watch it on Twitch, and I will see you all online. Thank you again for joining me early in the morning on a Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone.